Hey everyone, and welcome to A Kinda Crafty Kenzie. Today I have two large rustic farmhouse spring signs for y'all, so let's go. So first we are going to start off with these two love signs from the Dollar Tree. This was part of their Valentine's Day decor this year. I did not get to use them, unfortunately. I ran out of time and space and everything, so I am making sure that I gently pop those hearts off so I can save them and use them later. Then sometimes you can remove the paper really easily off these signs and sometimes you can't, so this is one of those times you couldn't. So then I just took some sandpaper and tried to sand down some of the glue residue from the hearts and where I had tried to peel it off. Then I removed the jute twine and saved it, of course, because I don't like to waste. Then to attach these two pieces together to make one big large sign, I love to use these Super Jumbo Craft Sticks from Walmart. They work perfectly. I have never had any trouble with any of my signs coming apart. I don't even have to glue the signs together. I literally just put some hot glue on the back of the craft stick and then space them apart and glue them down on the back of the signs, and that's it. Then I'm going to give this two good coats of Waverly's plaster chalk paint. So you guys, this family plaque sign that I got from the Dollar Tree back in fall season, as you can see, it's been painted. It's actually been painted twice before this. And I just could not make it match. Like any color I painted it, any way I styled it, I just never liked it. So finally, third time's a charm, I figured out what I need to do with it, and I'm so excited for you to see the end result. It did take a hot minute to paint this because of all the nooks and the crannies of the letters, but I did just go ahead and cover it with some truffle chalk paint. It did only take one coat, but it took a little while to get the coat on there because I ended up having an adorable little helper come and chip in. And as you can see, she's absolutely precious. She loves to paint, you guys, and she is so good at it. Look at her go. And even her coloring, she stays in the lines like better than I can. Like, I absolutely just love these precious little moments of Renna that I always seem to catch on film. But she just turned 4 in January, and I told her she's not allowed to grow anymore because I don't want her to get any older, and I'm going to miss her being this little, and I don't want her to go to school. But she told me she has to grow up and go to school, so I'm sad. She's my third and final baby, and it's just, I don't know, it's bittersweet that she's growing. But anyways, so I did go ahead and hit this with the heat gun a little bit to help it out, but then I ended up just needing to let it air dry because, you know, I didn't want to bother it too much, and, you know, chalk paint will crack sometimes. So then I grabbed 2 of these buckets from the dollar spot, Target dollar spot, Bullseye Playground, whatever you want to call it, back like the beginning of Valentine's Day, like the beginning of Valentine's season. But they do have these right now at Dollar Tree for Easter. I just saw them a couple days ago. So really anything would work. I'm just using these. So as you can see, I gave it a full coat of elephant gray chalk paint. And now I'm going to take some white and burnt umber and I'm going to like galvanize this. So super easy. I love the way it looks in the end. Some people prefer their galvanized to look a little bit different. This is what I like, so to each their own, and you could paint this any color you want. You don't necessarily have to galvanize it. You could leave them white if you want to, whatever you want to do. It's your project. So to galvanize, all I do, cover it in gray, and then I come back over it with one of these stencil brushes from the Dollar Tree. And I'll tell you guys, these are actually really nice brushes. I like really enjoy working with them. They're 3 for $1, and I highly recommend them. Then I came in with some burnt umber on top of that white, and then I just go back and forth. You know, sometimes I have to come back in with a little bit of white. Sometimes I can just leave it, you know, if I don't get too heavy, but I really, really like it. Now, this brush came from Target Dollar Spot. It came in a pack with stencils, but again, it's like made the same as like Dollar Trees, and they're really nice. You don't need to go spend an expensive amount of money on stencil brushes. Dollar Trees are okay. So anyways, I took that same brush and then I just went ahead and distressed lightly with some white chalk paint over that family sign. So I really like these two boards that I used to make this sign because it already had the like shiplap indentations, but when I painted them, it got clogged up with paint. So I used a super high technique of taking a pair of scissors for everything but what they're intended for, and I went ahead and scraped the paint out with the scissors and then wiped them off with a paper towel, and it worked really good. And there's a lot of paint in there. And then I just went ahead over it with my heat gun to make sure that everything was nice and dry before I took my elephant gray chalk paint and my chip brush from the Dollar Tree, which I have to say, one of the best brushes I've ever used to distress. I absolutely love them, highly recommend them. Wish I would have grabbed more because I haven't found them since, but then I just distressed over it. So now I'm just going to lay my little buckets out and my little family sign to make sure everything fits. I did do this before I even started the project, obviously, but I just wanted to see like where I wanted everything to go. I did do a combination of the wood glue and the hot glue to attach this family plaque to the sign. I did this because, one, it'll just help it adhere better and for longer, and two, the little family plaque has a little bit of weight to it. So I didn't want to just rely on hot glue and it like fall off and knock somebody in the head or something. That would be embarrassing. So I did go ahead and, like I said, use that combo of those two glues. Now, I was having a little bit of trouble with my hot glue, but that was only because I tried to shove a larger glue stick than it should have been in the glue gun, and it got stuck. So I was having a little bit of problems, but yeah, so that's what it looks like. The glue gun is barely getting any glue out, but that was my fault, not the glue gun's fault. Then to attach the buckets, because they're metal, I chose some E6000, and again with that hot glue, and then I just attached it down. Now on the second bucket, I learned from the first, and I just went ahead and put the glue directly on the board, and that worked out way easier. So I did let this sit overnight so that it had a good almost 24 hours for all of that E6000 and that wood glue to adhere nicely. So everything was nice and dry and sturdy for me to finish working with this. So I did want the look of where like the knot comes through of the rope that you're hanging it with and it's tied in the front. I think that's super rustic and I love it. But we have like 2 feet of snow and it's like super duper cold, so I wasn't going outside to drill. So I just went ahead and tied a faux knot with like this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and then I measured out where it needed to go so that they matched, and then I just hot glued them down. And yes, you heard me right, I said I measured. Then I even measured to make sure that my rope was going to hang in the right place, and as you can see, I screwed up the first time, so I had to redo it. And then I did go ahead and glue down the floral foam inside the little buckets before adding some of these really, really pretty floral picks from the Dollar Tree. At first, I just added 1 to each bucket, and I decided, nope, that's not really full enough. So I went ahead and brought in 2 more, and they are both different. So each bucket's the same, but they have 2 different picks in them. So I thought they were really pretty, and they really like complemented each other with their colors and their greenery. And this sign is all done, you guys. It is so cute. I absolutely love it. And this is perfect for spring, summer, or all year round. If you are new to my channel today, I just wanted to take a second and introduce myself. Hello and welcome. My name is Mackenzie, aka Kenzie, and I am so glad that you are here today. If you love everything to do with DIY and crafting, upcycling, turning trash to treasure, and some shopping hauls, then you are in the right place. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn your notification bell on. You can also find me over on Instagram and on Facebook. All the links are in the description boxes and in my bio. So next we're going to take one of these Christmas signs that I have left over from the Dollar Tree. Again, I tried to peel the paper off and it just wasn't working for me today. So I just flipped it over and decided to just work on the back. And I did go ahead and fill in the little holes from the twine with some wood filler. Normally I don't have to do that because I tend to cover up the holes with something, but this time I was actually going to flip this sign and use it like the other way, so they weren't going to be covered. But after I did that, then I went ahead and gave this 2 good coats of the white chalk paint. Then I just came in with some of my favorite color pencils to craft with. I got these from Dollar General. I talk about them all the time. I absolutely love them. They're like super nice and soft to work with. And I just drew two of like the faux shiplap lines. I just went with like the natural indentations of the sign, as you can see. Then I just came in with some of that elephant chalk paint and went ahead and just dressed over that. Then I hit it with some sandpaper because I really love to bring out that natural wood tone of the sign, like along the edges. I think that is so, so pretty. Now, this wired burlap ribbon is awesome. It's like 5.5 inches wide, and I got it from Joann Fabrics. So I just went ahead and doubled it up, as you can see, because I didn't want you to be able to like see through it. And then I just attached the little corner, like the edges around like, the back of the sign. You see what I'm doing here. That way there was no hot glue residue on the front of the sign, because sometimes when you hot glue ribbon down, especially burlap, you can see it through, and I just think that makes it look like sloppy. So I was really happy to be able to just wrap around like that. Then I took some of these letters from the Dollar Tree, and I recommend getting 2 packs because you need to use 2 E's, and the W and the M are like the same letter. And then I just gave them 2 coats of the white chalk paint. So now I'm just going to take some of these florals from the Dollar Tree. I can't remember what they're called, dogwood or box. I don't remember. They're not boxes, something like that. And then I just went ahead and put 2 full picks in, and then I took the third pick and kind of just like, you can see me just cutting it off and kind of just placing a couple extra stems here and there to where I thought it filled it out. And then I just took those letters and laid them across the front of my little burlap pocket. And then I just glued them down. So easy. Doing the same exact thing on this sign as I did on the last one, where I just measure out evenly to where I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot from the nautical rope and glue it down on the front, and then match it along the back so I can hang it, because I didn't want to drill. I didn't want to go get the drill in the snow is basically what the whole problem was here. It was just laziness, and I just didn't want to go in the snow. It's cold. So after I got those attached, I wanted to tell you guys, my aunt, who has like been crafting forever and is super, super talented, I told her about when I hang my nautical rope that it's like really fat on the back, and I can't use my popsicle stick to like help adhere it down, or sometimes it like wants to, lift because it's like a big hunk of rope. And she told me to go ahead on the ends of the rope, unbraid it so that it lays flat. And that's exactly what I did on the back. So I just wanted to tell you guys that little tip in case you don't know. And, you work with nautical rope and you have the same problem. So as you can see there, that's all I did was just unbraid a little bit of it, maybe like an inch and a half. And then just use that to glue down, because that just adheres so much nicer and so much more to the sign. And then it's nice and flush on the back. So, and then I always go over top of it with some hot glue, because I think I just like to work the gun. I don't know. I just love to use the hot glue. But it made it stick a lot nicer. And ever since I've been using that technique, my signs have been hanging in there longer. So anyways, then I just went over top of those letters because they were like stark white on top of that distressed look. I just took some of the antique wax and I just went over top of it really lightly with a stencil brush, kind of just really feeling out where I wanted it to go, trying to concentrate really, really hard just on the letter so I didn't get any on the burlap. And I did not want it to be like excessively distressed, just a little bit. And I think it turned out perfect. Then I did go in and just give it 2 little spots of hot glue just so my florals wouldn't like fall out of the bottom. You know what I mean? Because it is completely open. But you can't see it at all. As you can see, it was just 2 tiny little dollops of glue just to kind of adhere that burlap down, so there wasn't like this big gap at the bottom. But then that is it for the sign, you guys. And are y'all ready for the final reveal on these 2 super adorable spring farmhouse signs?
Control you, push me, then you pull me back in. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going. No control you, push me, then you pull me back in. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, baby, just give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more talking to you and here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. Yeah, give me a sign. Yeah, give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Give me a sign. Just give me one more. We've been on and on.
Thank you guys so much for coming along with me today. I had a blast creating these super gorgeous spring farmhouse wall signs. These are nice and big and I knew exactly where they needed to go. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes like in between holidays, especially this year between Valentine's Day and Easter, I'm not ready to put up Easter stuff like mid-February just yet. So I needed a little something there because my walls just look bare and sad. So I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I thought these were just kind of nice transition pieces to kind of fill in those days or weeks in between like a holiday season. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be back in just a couple days with another video with some Easter DIYs. I have so many ideas and so many things coming out that I'm going to get started a little bit early. I just wanted to show you guys what I am decorating my home with, like I said, in between the holiday, and I will see you very soon with some more DIYs. Bye, you guys.
Here we go again, staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign.